This are the 16 most abandoned places of the world. Number 1. Nara Dreamland Amusement Park, in Japan. Nara wanted to beat Disney World down also, of course, with its own figures and attractions, not with Donald Duck and his companions. The amusement park was built in 1961 and closed its doors in 2006 because it hadn't got enough visitors. There were roller coaster and monolithic railways, all kinds of gaming machines and really everything, all that is needed for a successful adventure park. They were pushing it hard and was going for a long time, but nowadays absolutely no one is coming here. That's because it is forbidden to enter, and fines have been hit the curious photographers' palms. Number 2. The Tunnel of Love in Ukraine. Hearing the name of Ukraine, we think about Molotov cocktail and war, not love. In Kleven there is a 3-kilometer railway which leads to a factory. Here everything is overgrown by the nature, creating an unrivaled beautiful setting. The train is shipping food 3 times per day to the factory. In the remaining time dozens of photographers shoot the place over, and lovers are coming here. According to the urban legends, whoever goes with their pair and sincerely wants something, their wishes come true. Sharon Stone in Last Dance. The 1996 crime drama Last Dance stars Sharon Stone as Cindy Liggett, a woman on death row for a double murder she committed in her teens, and Rob Morrow is her lawyer desperately attempting to save her life. It's far from a good movie, even netting Stone a Razzie nomination, but in a recent social media post to commemorate the film's 25th anniversary, Stone's co-star Morrow confessed he had trouble maintaining his actorly composure around her. He said, "Every day, inches from Sharon Stone I would get lost in her sublime beauty, often forgetting my lines. The great director Bruce Beresford, sympathetic to my rapture, would give me a little poke and in his Aussie accent, he would whisper, 'Rob, snap out of it, mate.'" The film's issues certainly had nothing to do with Morrow's performance, at least, and let's be honest, many actors would have similarly struggled in his position. Number 4. Krakow, the Italian ghost city. Krakow is an abandoned Italian ghost city in the province of Matera, South Italy. The city was evacuated in 1963 due to the repeated landslides. The ghost city can be found in the depth between the Italian boot's heel and soles, directly next to the sea. Thanks to the evacuation, Krakow has changed to be a very popular tourist spectacle. Moreover, they like to make shootings here also. They shoot one part of Mel Gibson's Passio here also. Number 5. Michigan Railway Station in Detroit. The city of Detroit anyway is the bad memento of industrial decline, but the railway station of Michigan gives it an extra. It is more than 100 years old, and when it was built it was the highest and far the most luxurious railway station. Now it is more than 25 years that the last train has departed from here. The opinions are very divided. What should be done with it? There is no money to renovate it. According to many people they should just clear the area with a dozer because it's ugly. According to others it is just beautiful. Lot of photographers are coming here not by accidents. They can shoot very good photos how the luxuries slowly turned into decay. Number 6. The Castle of Bodiam. Bodiam Castle is a beautiful castle that has remained in a surprisingly nice condition in England, East Sussex. It was built in 1385, with a leading character named Sir Edward Dallingrig. Of course, the British scientists have to get rid of everything, and according to the latest science fictions, poor Bodiam Castle walls were too thin to stand in a battle, and the waterbows were not good enough, so it was built to be just a pointer. Hard luck. The water slides, however, already look like good stuff, and indeed the whole castle. And, indeed, it's not so common to see a building which have lived a lot of battles in such a beautiful state, so probably the Bodiam Castle may not have seen so many wars at all. The building was restored by Lord Curzon, God blesses his name. Number 7. The Fort of Monselsee. There are rusty forts in the sea, as if a team of imperial walkers had been thrown by the gods that could launch a laser beam in the direction of the shore at any moment. The Monsel fortresses were left out of World War II so that the monstrosity would have snanked from it for their pleasure. The fortress squadron was built in 1942. When they were still operational, the buildings were tied together with a thin iron bride. Originally there were 3 fortresses, but now only 2 have remained. Their structure was the same. 7 buildings surrounded the central tower. After World War II, they were disarmed in 1950. The third fort was badly damaged by a storm, and after being scratched by another ship, it was demolished in 1959. In the other two in the 60s and 70s, pirate radio stations were operating for a long time. Number 8. Pripyat, the Ukrainian ghost city. Pripyat is a typical memento of playing God. If there were no acquaintances for the name of the city, I suppose it is enough to describe that the former settlement was about 16 kilometers from Chernobyl. After the explosion of Block 4 in 1986, the whole city was evacuated and, for understandable reasons, it has been completely uninhabited since then. The ghost town retained the retrograde image of Soviet settlements, just the nature was always against the concrete, asphalt and brick. This town is sad, and put your hands up, if you would feel safe to move there, even if 50 papers shows that there is no radioactive radiation here anymore. Number 9. The last house on the Dutch island. The island of Dutch is a rapidly eroding island in Chesapeake Bay, Maryland. The island was once inhabited by fishermen and farmers, but nobody has stayed there anymore. The house was built in 1888, and it was for a century fighting with the increasingly disappearing shoreline. Despite the efforts of its former owner, Stephen White, he lost against the nature. Neither the house nor the island could be saved. Number 10. The Carryway Trail between Sneem and Kenmare. The road itself is more than 200 kilometers long and is one of Ireland's most popular hiking trails. The starting point is Killarney, the popular tourist resort, and among the long trails we can see the most delightful and beautiful spots in the countryside. Number 11. The Wonderland Amusement Park. The never-ending Wonderland theme park was an unofficial response from China to Disney World and would have been built 32 kilometers from Beijing. It would have been the biggest theme park in Asia, and as long as the construction took place, they announced it like this, they just never completed their construction. First, the project was cancelled for financial reasons in 1998, and in 2008 a second attempt was made to resurrect it, but finally it was busted also. Finally, in mid-May, the semi-finished buildings and other attractions were demolished, but many tourists visited it, and in fact, there was a separate man in the parking lot who led them around. Number 12. Angkor Wat in Cambodia. Angkor Wat, or Angkor Wat, is the most prominent temple complex in Angkor. It was built between 1113 and 1150, with 5,000 sculptors and stone carver, as well as 50,000 hard-working men in 30 years of work. The complex still functions as a religious center. It plays an important role in both Hindu and Buddhist religions. Angkor Wat has become a symbol of Cambodia, even in the flag and the crest. Each year crowds of tourists are pilgrimaging here. Number 13. The abandoned German fishing cottage. The cottage stands in Berchtesgaden National Park at the junction between Bavaria and Salzburg. The park was founded in 1978 and is located 210 square kilometers. Poor little cottage is rotting in the world's most picturesque environment, crystal clear water, mountains that bite into snow-white clouds. However, this does not help on it so much. Number 14. The abandoned dome houses in Cape Romano. The dome houses were originally built in 1981, and a gentleman named John Tosto finally bought them in 2005. He has not touched them yet. There is a constant burst of revolt around the renovation. According to some sources, Tosto may even make a fine of $185,000 for them. I personally would not renew them. There is something unrealistic, UFO-like in their appearance, and faced with the facts, the renovation here is rather a clearing up with a dozer, because these houses cannot be renovated much. The outlook can be kept, but it is almost simpler, and safer, to rebuild them from zero. In any case, the dome houses are very popular among tourists, which I can understand. Not surprisingly, many people call the boat a floating forest, and it is a fascinating sight. It is almost ghastly, as the trees have rooted in the deadly scattering hull of the ship. With Google Maps it can be viewed from the top, and it is not less a strange sight. Number 15. Kolmanskop, the ghost city in Namibia. In 1908, a black worker found a diamond in this area, and the Germans built up a whole city, only living from diamond mining. The first miners were earning very nice salary, and everything from hospital to theater was built, even trams and casinos. However, after World War I, the area's diamond stock was depleted and no mining was done. Finally, in 1954, the city was completely emptied. Since then, only tourists are coming here, but in a very nice amount, especially photographers. great pictures can be made about how the desert recaptured the city after the people had left. Number 16. The Christ of the Depth. Christa degli Abissi in another name, a 2.5-meter statue at the bottom of the Mediterranean Sea. The statue was placed under the water in 1954, in memory of Dario Gonzatti, who died in 1947 during diving. The depth of Christ is located in the San Fruttuoso seafront in Italy, Liguria. The statue was 6 years old this year, and in 2003 it was pulled out for a quick restoration, so that it did not fall apart completely. One arm had to be repaired because an unguarded boat had broke it down successfully. With an anchor. Which one would you like to visit? Let us know in the comment box.
For daily video updates, subscribe to Only Facts.